with insight and analysis, let's get straight to Eddie van der Walt, our great crypto watcher, Bloomberg MLive strategist. So, Eddie, good morning, first of all.
Morning.
We're trying to figure out exactly how much further this goes, right? China had already declared a war on Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
And this seems to be a step further in trying to ban it completely.
Look, it does feel like an escalation, doesn't it? If they are really saying no transactions, I would like to know exactly what that means. Does that mean I cannot buy with it? Or does it mean that I can't transact with you? I cannot send you Bitcoin from my phone to your phone, so that I can no longer trade it on an exchange. So I'm still a little bit vague on what it means, what a transaction is in this particular circumstances, and how strictly they'll enforce it. But it is confirmation. China doesn't like this. And Bitcoin, at the moment, still needs China and Chinese investors. You know, there's a lot of Chinese investors that have been long Bitcoin and have been using it and have been building it up. So it's an escalation, and we shall see how much, crypto prices respond to it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Francine makes a good point that they've incrementally been fighting against. They banned exchanges, they banned mining. But it looks like what they're saying is, and the emphasis is on the word all crypto-related transactions are illegal. To me, that means any time you want to trade it, be it for goods and services or trading with friends, any kind of crypto-related transactions are illegal. And I mean, just looking at the price, it doesn't seem to have hit Bitcoin that hard. Right now, we're looking at a drop of 3% of still 43,351. How important is the Chinese market to Bitcoin?
The Chinese market is extremely important, and the question is how well China will be able to enforce this. I do wonder, though, Matt, whether whether we are talking about a ban of transactions or a ban of ownership, because if ownership is still legal, then effectively you will have to be able to trade it somehow. But if it's about transactions and I won't be able to pay for goods and services with it, then it's an escalation, but not as serious as it had been, right? Because then it is no longer a financial instrument either, which for the most part, let's face it, Bitcoin is not used that much for transacting in the financial system. It is used as a financial asset, as a store of wealth, as a play on.
It puts it really in a gray area. This is like in the U.S., this was the issue with marijuana a lot. In a lot of states, you could own it, you could hold it, but you weren't allowed to buy it or sell it. So the question was, how do I get it? Well, the law didn't make that clear. They just said you cannot buy it or sell it, but you can hold it. And that may be the same case with Bitcoin here.
Well, it's clear which way the direction of travel is here in China, right? I think that, for me, is the message. We know that China is not keen on cryptocurrencies in general, particularly ones that they don't control. So, central bank digital asset will be a completely different thing. But for the wide spectrum of cryptocurrencies, I don't think that they have made it clear that this is not something that they like.
Eddie, the crackdown in China is not, unfortunately, limited to cryptocurrencies. They've been cracking down, really, as our Tom McKenzie put it to us, on risk across the board, and that includes in the property sector, which raises the evergrande question. We have no idea what happened with the dollar coupon bond payment yesterday, whether or not they actually met that deadline. What happens in the next 24, 48 hours?
From China in general, I think we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see whether there is any contagion that comes from this. And yes, I think the Chinese system it's uncomfortable bedfellows with capitalism in general, and therefore it's a hard case for them to make. In general, that trading and free markets and letting people speculate as much as they want. So some sort of crackdown is possible. But for the evergrande fallout, I think it is possible that that China contains this. It is not it's not something that they cannot prevent the spillovers if they wanted to. So whether particular bondholders will lose money, that isn't but one question. But they can stop the financial system from seizing up.